Now we're going to go and look at the campaign. If we got a new campaign, look at this. You've got different factions. You've got Rome, you've got Carthage, which is basically Rome's greatest enemy because they control most of the Mediterranean. You've got the Eastern Empires here. You see Parthia and Pontus. You've got Britannica, Britain. You've got the Gedic tribes, that's France. You've got successor kingdoms. Now these are the ones these are the old kingdoms. That there's Macedon, which is Alexander the Great. And then you've got Egypt, which is Cleopatra. Well, Alexander the Great came before Rome. Cleopatra didn't. Now we go to the German tribes, which Rome never really managed to beat. The Lost Legion was lost attacking the Germanic tribes. And here you've got the first DLC. Now the DLCs actually seem to be alright so far. I haven't tried any of the other things other than Rome yet, so I won't know until I do and I can compare them. But they do have different orders and different controls to the Rome thing. So it seems to be like if you want to go from say Rome to a Greek expansion, you just click on the DLC and you've got it. So you can play an expansion within the game because the DLC just supplies the army for you. It's more than just a graphic update though. There's quite a few differences on it that makes it look interesting. There seems to be other things added to that I'll have to check out later on. But we'll find out over time if the DLCs are actually worth the money or just another cash cow. Now here you've got the campaign settings. I've got mine set to realistic and low advisor help. And here you've got victory conditions. You've got the military victory where you've got to conquer lots of settlements and have lots of units. You've got the economic one where you've got to conquer just 90 settlements. And you've also got to maintain, trade relations with 20 factions, blah, blah, blah. And plus have lots of money coming in and resets 20 technology. And the final one is a cultural victory, which means you've got to have at least one settlement in 45 provinces, in which your culture is dominant. That means if your culture isn't dominant in a province, you can't control much in the province. That's the way it works. You construct the following buildings: monument to Leonidas, and resets 30 technology. So for the first time, you can play the conqueror, the trader, or something akin to ancient Greece. So I think that's actually quite a good improvement for the Roman Total War type games. Right, this is Rome Total War campaign map, and it's better than the previous campaign maps. For starters, it represents height a lot better. The campaign map looks a lot more detailed. You can see the province how rich a province is by looking at the roads instantly. It's automatic that all that's been streamlined a little bit. There's no upgrades for the province itself. It's all done by icons. Here you see, so if I want to upgrade that, I click on that, or demolish it, or build that. The icon system means you're really having to click through all of these just to see, what you can build. And to be honest, when I look at a menu system, I think 1 or 2 clicks and you should be able to see everything you need. And this system is just hard to way. Another thing is, you can't just click that to get rid of it. You see, it doesn't work. It should work that way, but it doesn't work that way. You've got to select something else. So sometimes you're left like, there's another thing where you mouse over that to enable that to come, but if you mouse over anything else, it doesn't work either. So the menu system is really crap. Now here, when you fight a battle, your units actually improve, or your leaders improve. Now if I just select that, him there, I've got to come back over here, select details, and this is that guy's stat sheet. So he hasn't done anything yet. Oh, mind you, he has. He's got something. So we can select a member of his household. Every now and again, you'll say your household has expanded, and you add them to the pool. And this is the pool you add them to. Each one of these brings an advantage. So that one's +5 to morale for all units. That one's +5 armour. So I'll give him +5 armour from having that guy in the house. When he fights battles, these skills go up, or they do for the units. So the units can actually improve in different ways. I don't know if any of these have actually fought before. Yeah, they have there, look. See, this one here, the good engineers and stalwart defenders. And these guys being busy, he's got like +2 authority and a few other things. authority, zeal, and other things are like morale and modifiers like melee, +1 on melee combat, that kind of thing. So you can improve the army's stats in battle. Now, if I come over here to Carthage, right, and I go to like one of these fleets here,
ready for orders,
and I was to sit there, click on recruit units, you can see different types of ships available once you build a shipyard. Now, if you look down here, you'll see ship speed damage, whatever. It's a lot of messing about to get there. If I wanted to actually compare that with other units, you have to move that out the window first. You see? That menu system is actually quite tedious, you know, because if you were to get something that filled the screen, you couldn't access that without closing it and then going back and closing it and going back and closing it and going back. So doing that is easy now. If I did it with some screens, I'd have to close it like that, go to the next one, close it like that, and go to the next one, and so on and so on and so on. So I'm not really keen on the interface, to be honest. Up here, you've got your menu, you've got your chat, and you've got your Total War Encyclopedia, like I mentioned, and your trade lanes. As you can see, the Fog of War. If we can find a place I haven't visited recently. You see what it looks like when you've explored a place. You see, and that's one of the trading partners I've got, so I can see that because of trade. If we just go to a place I haven't been to, you see, that's what it looks like when you haven't been there. It's quite good actually if you look at it from a distance. See, look. I mean, the map looks superb, but it is a massive resource hog. Some people said the minimum specs are wrong for this game. Yeah, because they can't play it on their specs, even though they meet the minimum specs. Right, you see this little red symbol here? That means that unit is actually dying slowly. He's probably not being supplied, or they haven't got enough food or something like that. Now, bear in mind this is a new game, so some of these details might be a bit wrong. Now, I've noticed that whilst if you mouse over this, for instance, these three towns are all in the same province, right? And these three in different provinces. And if I select one, all 3 towns in the province appear on the menu here. If I select another one, all the towns in that province are selected there. But we're going to go back over here because there's only 3 of them. And I've noticed, right, that whilst you got the population and the population is different, the actual influence you see here is the same for all 3 towns. That's because the influence in the province, right, doesn't change between towns. It's the same for all towns, as is the rioting. So if you get riots in your province, the rioters or rebels can appear anywhere in the province, not just next to the town. Somebody once said, right, if you try to defend everything, you defend nothing. In this game it's true. So what you do is you place an army either in your central province, right, your biggest town, or nearby. Like I've got mine in Rome, and if I have any trouble, I send them up there to sort it out. Right, but anyhow, there's a lot of links in the provinces here, like I said there. You know, I can't see it, the 83% and the 100. They're shared. Now, if you don't control a province, it's because that 83% influence isn't higher. You've got to have the highest influence in the province to control it. Once you do, you can usually start having edicts and stuff like that. I can't issue more edicts because I've done more this turn, but they're there. But these are edicts anyhow. If I select a town, you can see it. These change according to buildings and other factors like research, by the way. But these help. Like there's one here, look, right? Plus 12 public order, plus 8% wealth, plus 15% wealth from culture, and plus 4 food, which helps. That would actually offset one of the temples eating the food as well. So it's a balancing act. So even the city upgrades are now not so much of a build once and forget about. They're more a case of, you know, fine tuning to keep your balance down here correct. So you're not running out of food, you're not running out of resources, you're not rioting, stuff like that. Also, you really don't want to be upgrading all the little towns all the way, but just stick to upgrading the main ones, because if you upgrade them all, then you're going to find it very, very difficult to maintain public order. You can maintain public order throughout the province by upgrading that one like crazy and just using these as supporting things. Because if you think of it, if you think of the province system as a kind of like one big town, this is where you put all your money into, and the little ones you use for just tweaking to add sanitation and stuff like that, and other things to try and keep the public order down in these towns, so the overall public order for the province is low enough to maintain a big city here. Now, if we go to research, which is down here, you can see the research. Now there's 10. There's 1, right? 3. Well, it's like 4, 7, 10. See, it's 30 in all, right? I'm told, although I can only see 20. Where's the other 10? Right, let's just have a look at this. Let's select Carthage. I'll show you diplomacy. Now, if we go to initiate diplomacy here,
be welcome and
you see you've got like a non-aggression pact and a trade treaty. If we go up here, we can ask him to break, a treaty with something like that, or a number of other things. And his decision is based not just on his feelings, but it's based on the actual reality on the ground, how strong you are and who his allies is and things like that. See, I've been at war with him, so
enough. We do not need your help.
So he doesn't want that. Other settlements will offer you a city-state, thing in exchange for gold, because they A, are weak and B, need the money. And some of them will offer, non-aggression treaties for gold and stuff like that. So as you get more powerful, you get more deals. More states want to deal with you. Less states want to argue with you. In the past, in Total War, if you did something early on, they remembered it at the end of time. So something your great grandfather did to a shopkeeper is an excuse for not signing a treaty to end a war thousands of years later. Well, that's what it seemed like anyway. But that doesn't happen in this. If you're strong, you can tend to get treaties. Like even most of these I've got treaties with, for instance, right? So the actual diplomacy game works. It works much better than in previous games. One of the things about the campaign map is it works better than previous Total War games. For starters, right, if I select him, the red area is the area where he'd engage in combat. The yellow area, like if I select that one, see, that's how far he can move. So if every unit can then see how far he can move, you can coordinate attacks on a city by seeing what can reach what. All you've got to do is get them into or close to the red, and they'll be involved in the next battle. You can actually, in previous games, you weren't always sure when your allies would arrive or from what direction. There was a little randomness here, but in this it's a lot more accurate. They'll arrive from the direction you send them in at, and they'll arrive according to their distance from the town. So you might have to wait a while, or if you put them real close, they'll arrive straight away at the beginning of the game. It works a lot better. Also, you can do like D-Day landing type things where you land from the beach using the boats and men on them and stuff like that. That's just a fleet. It's not actually men, but this fleet here, I think it's that one. Yeah, yes. That is actually a fleet of men. You can move men onto the sea just by clicking on the sea, and they'll automatically get boats and sail off. But they can land on the beaches here, for example, and you see them arrive and disembark. Although, to be honest, the disembarking right now is a bit buggy, but there hasn't been any patches for the game yet. Pick on one of the ones that hasn't moved.
That's your command.
Oh, this one's moved. You can see here, look, right, the yellow area. This is a bottleneck. You can see clearly on the map. Any unit going through there is going to have to be engaged. So station any unit there will protect your thing. It's easy to see the defensive areas. It's not so easy to guess where you can go ashore or where your men's going to go ashore. Quite a few times, see, there's a beach here. I've tried to get them to go across the beach and it works. Other times, it's gone all the way down here. Sometimes it could have gone straight across here, straight across there and done there in a couple of turns. And instead, it's gone all the way around the edge. And down here, in Syracuse, I've had a man there and I wanted to get him there. He could have just hopped it off into the sea, gone that way. And when I do it manually, he did. He would have been there in 2 turns. Instead, he's gone all the way that way to there, only to come round that way. So the pathfinding isn't that brilliant. Sometimes you better take in little steps, to get them to where you want to be rather than try and do it all in one go, because the AI can be a bit thick that way. This is the battle I prepared earlier. It's Rome versus Sparta. Now I'm going to move that guy in there, attack him to start it. But you can see there's a lot of units kicking around there, and he gets a bonus from these. This is the DLC pack you see here, or it should be. You know, all the stuff you get with that. But I'm playing Rome. Now, at this point, I didn't know that you could have more than 10 units, because that looks like it's full. And I didn't notice this in the corner here. So I've only got like 30 units versus all of theirs, and they've got quite a lot. So anyhow, declare war. Let's see how it works. Now we're going to go Sparta. That's going to bring Macedon in on their side.
We take this settlement for Rome!
Oh, look at that. I'm well and truly outgunned. Ooh, what shall we do? Oh my. We're going to kick their ass. That's what we're going to do. Now it's dry. Yes, so we'll start deployment. Right. It's the same keys as you usually had in the previous Total War games. You select them, Control 1, sticks them in a group. Actually, I'm going to put that in Control 2. I'm going to put the generals in Control 1. I'll put that in Control 3. I'll put cavalry in Control 4. Now we want... See this here, gap there? I actually won last time by putting my men down there and making that into a kill zone. So I'm just going to repeat the same thing. We're not going to play it all the way. I'm just going to show you how this works. So you can see. Now we're ready to start. Now you notice I had 2 other armies in the area and they aren't here yet. So just watch how this works. We look over here, there is reinforcements arrive as well.
When we are within them and lay waste to their precious homes. Then we will laugh as we take what we...
Our reinforcements have arrived.
To arms.
The speech goes on, as you can see. Now, if we just get these to come over here, and them to come over here, I'm giving my men a chance to regroup. You see the army on the top there? That's his reinforcements arriving. I could charge in, but he's got a fairly sizable force inside there. Right, this is my army. Quite impressive, isn't it? That's 3 armies merged into one, grouped together for a battle. And I am massively outnumbered. So that is actually the underdog you're looking at. Now we're going to just surround this group down here and hopefully it'll work like it did last time. Right, just moving my men into position now. Using fast forwarding time quick. See, they're attacking here already, look, you see. Let's put these down here so they can get a few cracks at them. They really don't stand a chance against the Legionnaires, so I don't worry too much about that. This is the longest bit to defend, so oh, some good men there. Want the second line just behind them because there'll be some weak points. Now, people say the strategy in this game is a bit lacking, but I can tell you now, right, if you put your men in front like this, your good men in front, you'll have the desired effect. The strategy works. Because that's not too sensitive. It does actually get a bit tricky to control the stuff sometimes. I'll put my cavalry there. Them there. Right, now you can see what I'm doing here. I made a little kill zone here, right? And my long range guys, missile guys, are throwing stuff in. He's bringing the rest of his army in now, you see. It's kind of like a shit factory of God knows what here, isn't it? I mean, you see all that lot charging in. But fear not, these are Romans. They're the ones in the kill zone, not me. As long as the AI doesn't think of coming down that road and coming up behind me, I'm alright. And it won't. And it hasn't done so far, put it that way. Now, as you can see there, look, this has created a bit of a morale sapping kill zone right here. Now, I've just got to wait now while these get their act together so I can push them back a little bit further. Now, the frame rate's really been hit now, and I'm recording as well. If I just put them along there, I might be able to get a few more missile guys firing. The missile guys are doing all the work here, you see, look. This is proof that strategy in Total War still works. Although you really do have to keep an eye on this lot, because they will completely mess up your front line given the chance. Right, let's advance it forward a little bit further. Get it even further, look. And I'm wondering why it's so quiet. It's because I've got the music turned off. There we go. So that, now we're routing them like crazy because we've got them in a great big kill zone. We've just got to keep an eye on the front lines. So we're not taking that many losses either. If we just stick them across there, can back them up as well with more men. The closer we get, the more these missile guys can actually hit. So it's good to get up close and personal with them. Now we can keep that going now until we defeat them all. And they will die, they will defeat, there's no doubt about that.
The enemy general is dead.
So it's a kill zone. Even though they completely outnumber me, the tactics of boxing them in is working. You can see, look, they're breaking. Now if we just have a look at some of these units, because this is the Greek DLC I believe we're looking at here. See some of the things they've got, you know. There you've got I can't even pronounce that. Pikemen, basically. Spears. You do get a couple of royal things here as well. I haven't seen them yet though. Helot javelin men. Actually, we're still running at high speed. Let's just slow that down a bit. Ah, there comes the noise back. By the way, I'm not that good that I can play at high speed all the time. I just forgot to turn it off. Right, let's just close the box now. Now we've got them. So you've got to keep your front line in order.
Jupiter gives us strength. At the double! Commander! Quickly now! Equites! Commander! Your orders! At the double! Your orders! At speed! Sons of Mars!
Actually, when we're doing it this way, we really need to turn off skirmish.
Missile infantry at your command!
Skirmish mode means the missile guys run away.
Brave Romans to a man!
Now look at that, you see. If you look down here, these guys here, where are they? Right there. They're really getting back, so we'll move them out.
Quick march!
We don't want any routing men running past them, do we? They're really getting their asses kicked, them ones. But it's not affecting our front line at all. The rest of them are holding solid. You see? What's this? Shaken. See these? When they run past you like that, they're usually trying to get out of battle. See them there? They're shaken as well. This is all because I'm letting the missile guys do the work. And I've got some pretty mean troops in the front line. Like if we just look at the pile of bodies in front of them. You see, they haven't done very well, these. They're shaken as well. There is actually orders down the bottom if I cover them quickly. Click on here, different orders here.
Units or ships together here.
Yeah, go with it.
Are useful.
We click on these, we can just select a group here and then just use this order here to order a group attack. You've got that one there, AI group defend and other bits and bobs. Down here you've got your formations, there's quite a lot of them this time. Retreat, highlight all. Although, why you'd want to, I don't know. Not if you've grouped them together like I have first. And as you can see, this battle's more or less won now. But he's now bringing his reinforcements from over here. This is his
One of our
royal
units
stuff,
has used all its ammunition.
Good. You see it? They'll get so far and then come back again. There we go. The Royal Spartans. This is his hard nuts. Not that it's going to last. He'd die just as quick as the rest. See? So, strategy works. Right, enough of that. We're going to quit out of this now, right? Now I've demonstrated that. And we're going to look at some of the other options. Right, this is Greece. Right, the Greek army. I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to show you something here, right? If I click on that, the orders appear along the bottom. There you see square. Now this, you don't get this with Rome at the beginning of the game, but you do get it with the Greeks. You see, there's an order. This is the Greek DLC, by the way. See? It actually works quite well. Each faction feels a bit different, and they all have their own strengths and weaknesses and everything else. But these units in the Greek DLC actually seem to be a complete job. It's like when you mod these in, like I used to. You get like the text and the stats, but you don't get the models and the orders and everything else. But here you do. So the DLCs might actually change the nature of the game completely. But one thing I would point out though is, in these DLCs, whilst you used to get these nations unlocked when you play the game, I haven't seen that happen yet. I suspect that you'll have to buy the factions to unlock them as DLCs. But they have done a good job on the Greek DLC with one or two errors, like Athens being in the water in one of the battles, and the units grounding on the beach like they want to go for a swim or something. But besides that, you know, they'll get ironed out, I guess, in the next few patches, because there hasn't been any patches yet. But besides that, they've done a good job on these DLCs. It should be worth keeping an eye out for them. I think it'll make a big difference to the Total War series, unlike the previous DLCs, which have been more or less useless, just cash cows. Right, that's it. That's the Greek one for you.